Hey guys, I'm Nicholas Weninger, and today we'll be showing you how to replace the recoil on a 2005 MXZ Rev. It's an 800. Never done one of these before, but should be pretty easy if it's anything like any of the other recoils I've done. So first you're going to want to take off the suitcase here. Some of these springs are kind of hard to get to, so I just use some weed whacker string and wrap it around a piece of wood. So I start by just kind of feeding it through like that, and then I'll pull the spring up and pull all the springs off, take the exhaust out, and then we'll get to the recoil. So the exhaust is off. It looks like it's just these 4 bolts, these torque spits. There's one in there, and one right there. So I'll take that off and then I'll get back to you. This is a T30, by the way, I think. Yep. Alright, so now I'm just going to take this vice grips, pinch it off so I don't lose my rope, somewhere down there, and then I'm going to cut this rope up here. Take this and tie a knot up here, just because I don't know what I'm going to do with this thing yet. Okay, so after talking to some people that know better and look better, I guess these things work off of friction. This thing seems pretty loose. And apparently there's an O-ring in there, and I'm guessing that that O-ring is probably shot. So I'm going to just pry up the snap ring here. Pull off this. The ring looks fine. A little hard. That looks fine. This green tab goes in between these 2 red pieces. That's a little egged out, maybe that's our issue. This part looks good. A little bit of wear right there, but the brand new ones are rounded too, so I don't think that's it. Okay, so basically what I learned after calling a few more people that look a little better than me and know a little bit more is that there's a groove in here. I don't know if you can see it, but that edge, come on camera, don't be, there's an edge right there where this black piece or that metal washer is wearing into this green piece. So all you got to do is take a nice little socket or something, put it on there, give it a whack. Now it should, yeah. Alright, so I'm back. Got the new rope. So take your rope, put it in a little Ziploc bag and put some oil in there. Like not even a cap full probably of oil. And just kind of work it around. Helps if you let it sit overnight. The reason you do this is it helps preserve the rope. It also keeps it from fraying on stuff too. You just want to take a lighter, kind of melt the end, otherwise it'll start to unravel on you, which is not good. And you're just going to want to tie, I only use one knot, I don't know, some people use two. I've never had an issue with just using one. Some people heat the knot up, I mean, I never really do it, to be honest. So now is this one. It's a lot easier if you have a buddy, but we use, also start with this end. Okay. So untie this knot. Give yourself some real estate to work with. So I grabbed a couple picks, the pliers, got my old rope, untied the knot. Now I'm just gonna unravel it all the way. Holy piss. They don't work that in a fun way, do they? Hey. So, here we are. Take your pliers. Pull out that old knot. Now don't let go of this thing, okay? Otherwise you're probably gonna cry. Feed it through. I'm gonna try this with my pick. I just stabbed the cord and pushed it out the hole. Now make sure you take that little tail, push that back where she belongs. If she'll go there. Think you're better than us, don't you? Alright. So now with that, let's go to the end of your rope. Tie a little double knot. Let this recoil pinch your arm when it's feeding that rope in as you're trying to tie this knot. The reason I do this knot is because it's easier to untie once you get it into the machine, because you can't put it on the handle yet, otherwise you can't feed it through. Otherwise it works good. Let's go back to the machine. Okay. So it still wasn't working for me. So what I ended up doing is drilling this out and tapping it down the middle. Then I put a bolt through it with a big washer that hits that crush washer. And I just tighten it down enough where it still works. And it still retracts at a decent speed. Okay, so I'm sitting here right now. And I feel like the ending of that video was kind of vague. I was pretty frustrated at the time. And now that it's, 3:03 a.m. and I'm back from the bar editing this video, I figure I should probably explain this a little better to you. So, these recoils work on friction, and when those plates aren't pressed together, it doesn't want to push that plate out. That like dog bone type of deal. That's the dog bone that would normally be in a normal recoil on like a Polaris or an Arctic Cat, if that makes sense. So basically what I did is that bolt is pushing down on that crush washer to create that friction, since those parts are kind of worn out. And that crush washer is actually kind of, when you take it off, it actually kind of wears on that groove and makes it a little wider, if that makes sense. So what that bolt is doing is basically acting as like a manual chain adjuster on a like a timing chain or something. So what you want to do is put a good amount of Loctite on that bolt after you drill and tap that recoil down the center. I used a 13/64 or something like that drill bit, and then a 1/4-20 tap, and then I use a 1/4-20 bolt, obviously, and center through, put some Loctite on it, and then once you get in there, kind of test the recoil, because if there's too much friction, it won't want to retract the rope back in. But if there's not enough, obviously the recoil won't slide that dog bone out. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you on that. If you still don't understand what I'm talking about, maybe you shouldn't be doing this, huh? Have a good one.